Welcome back, my practitioners of love and light, to the 7th hour of the 7th day of, just kidding, I don't know what, it's 6:24. All right. So, angels of light and love, I welcome you in to direct and protect these messages, my chakras, my auras, my space, and that of my practitioners of love and light. Thank you so very much. So, I got a little cafe in my system, you know, the kind that's like, I don't know, $1 or so. Anyway, if it does the job, it does the job. It's okay. I don't know if you would call that like a coffee rebound, but you know, we're all human. So, anyway, things are happening so quickly. I want Spirit to get up all in my psyche at this very moment. So, Spirit, I invite you in. Source, I love you. So, I trust what you gotta say. I want my report card. Because I know that after signing off earlier today, somebody came to test me. And it came through in an interaction, a dynamic that was just like, pew, 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 you know, like constant, like, actually, it was worse than that. I was just playing around. It was really far worse. So, with that, you know, I'm not going to name any names because energy is energy, but it was like so incredibly toxic. I'm just making fun of it right now because there are no words. There are no words that will suffice. I have not yelled that, in that tone since maybe my ex was here. I don't know. It's been quite a while to get to that level. And I've refrained from it. It was like all sorts of influxes. Seriously. It seemed as though the worse that I got, the more satisfied that person was. And as a prefix, no, should I say it? Yeah, it wasn't my ex. So like that was a huge like red flag for me. I'm like, wow. People are determined to keep me down. And so like I know I'm not perfect. I know I yelled. I know, you know, I even, you know, said like this is I even forewarned that I'm going to hang up the phone right now. And is this helping you? Because it's not helping me. She says, you know, I told you, like, need you to respect my space. And when people pry and pry and pry, and they don't get it other than their side, then, you know, it's just time to let loose. Like, I just couldn't bring it myself to hang up that phone. Just because it was like, you don't go out like that, really. Unless, like, you absolutely have to. You absolutely. But, like, the unwillingness to, it was just like, it was so, oh my gosh. So, being that, you know, I succumbed to those triggers at the given moment, I was able to step away from it and recalibrate. Okay, so now I know what I must do as far as forming boundaries. Now, this is a form of being passive and very firm with them, which is, you know, now I am going to think 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 times before picking up that phone. Understanding the context, like I have to use my gifts when it comes to play, you know, into play with interactions. You know, use it for the highest benefit, for the highest good, because I know it wasn't doing anything for either of us. And I wasn't even like wanting to be in fight mode, but the fact that somebody was already like taking things on a personal level that was just like with no letting up, it was insane to me. It had me rethinking my values as far as like, okay, in order to avoid future exchanges in that manner, I am willing to bend the rules to take it this other way, which is like beneath me. And it's like, that's where they want to get you. That's where the red flag is, like little bobblehead, like, you know? And so, that's where I realized, oh, That's where they want to corner me. They want me to be my own worst enemy. So Spirit, let's do a progress report. I'm open to whatever you have to say. Keep in mind, I'm open to it, whatever you have to say, because I trust whatever it is you've got to say. Okay. Progress report time. Also, I have to say, beware of where you purchase your spiritual, religious items. Seriously. Because a while ago, my ex purchased this full moon incense at a shop that the last time I went there, the witches, I realized that they were witches but not all witches are bad. I'm just saying that they were old, hungry witches, and they were cornering me. It was disgusting. And so I never went there again. I mean, by default I didn't, because I wasn't, spending time with my ex. So, that even by choice, I said I wasn't going to go there ever again. Just because it was disgusting. It was such greedy, old hag, lady, and so, it's different if you're curious, but if you're, no, they don't deserve my time, not even in conveying. So, anyway, he bought some other incense before, they had it a couple of other times too. It was very strange, but I remember he would always get it to burn, to dispel any smell of smoking out in the garage, and so the kids wouldn't notice or whatever, and or whatever it is, because I remember smelling something very chemical based, and he was oh, that's, very observant of you. I was I wasn't even trying to be observant. I could smell it. And he said it was some form of wax or something that you that it's processed double time, but it didn't even smell like that. It smelled like something chemical. Because I know what wax smells like, and to be processed twice, that doesn't validate it. So that tells me he was lying to me, even about that. Anyway, there's something about that full moon incense that doesn't sit right. There's something warped about the way it was made, as far as trying to leech into other people's manifestation. Because if they're going to do that, person to person, why would you sell that at a discounted rate? There's something not right about it. So, what am I going to have to do with that? I'm going to have to do something with it, because I'm not going to give it away. I'm going to do something with it. I think I know what to do. Yes, I do. Okay. All right. Spirit, angels of love and light. What is it? So they don't do it to anyone else. Because they've been doing that, siphoning, anytime that I've used it. There's still a lot left, so I'm going to teach them a lesson. Okay? We're going to teach them a lesson. Okay, those two are right. We have fail and we have game. Both in upright. All right. What did I fail, Spirit? Okay. I mean, that's not 100%, what it's positioned to say, but it's also noticing our frame of mind was not in the best place whatsoever. It was just trying to sometimes, when you're in all of that, in the throes of it, it's more damage control, you're, what is it, self-protective behaviors, where you're I am not going to go, what is it, I'm not going to take your hits, I'm not going to, I'm not going to live through your dramas, it's seriously, that was, wow. So I think that's where, there's like that pitfall. And the reason why I'm bringing this forth, even like the 5th time today that I'm, doing divination, is like I would have to process these feelings without even having to bottle all of that stuff inside. No. If I find value in this, then that's good enough. You don't have to be here. It's okay. So, okay, what goes in fail, Spirit? I'm a little nervous, but that's okay. That's okay. I need to hear whatever I need to hear, Spirit. So, okay, what tumbled over? Oh, going the other way. I failed to just, turn the other cheek and just move away from it. We remember seeing this before around Easter time, right? But there's the big L right there. I should have gone the other way. There's a red warning sign. Things got heated. I should have done that. Should have done it. Sometimes you just have to let people stew in their own bullshit, And you can't put the context of your relationship as a buffer zone. Because I think that's why I didn't hang up the phone. Because it's I can't do that. It's... Is there anything else that goes in fail, Spirit? Spirit corrected me, graded me correctly. What are you going to say about that? Okay, so we have, turtle in reverse and this bartender thing in reverse. I think if this was an upright, this is kind of being sedated, engaging, being sedated. So things got really escalated really quickly. Okay. So that's where the fail was. Yeah. Sometimes you see the danger zones and you can't ignore it. Like I said, you can't use the context of your relationship, history, as a sign, as a thing, a relief system, because it's if you do that, you're almost enabling the person to walk all over you. You're enabling the person to think that it's all right to talk to you like that, to disrespect how you feel about your current situation that isn't even personal. It's I only have a threshold. I only have a bandwidth of what I need to handle right now. And that's me just thinking super high of myself to be able to take care of these things. So for you to push and pry on these other things that are just irrelevant, that instigate some sort of gossip, I don't have energy for that. Why can't you understand that? Why, even if you don't understand it, why can't you respect that? So it's I got really upset at that, because then I started getting taking things personal. I shouldn't even take it personal. I should have just walked away. I should have just said, this is it. I'm going to hang up the phone right now. Okay. And that's it. And let them stew in their own juices, just as they would have with or without all the yelling. Are you kidding me? Somebody telling me that I'm yelling at them? No. Now I understand. I'm not even going to name names. I'm not even going to say anything. Like I said, it's an energy. Wow. But it almost I could have stuck with me. But now, it's a lesson learned. Anything else you want to say with regards? Okay, fine. Nah. Okay, so this landed in my lap. I didn't get to say whether it pertained to this or that, but it's a mule and it's in reversal. It's the good thing about this, the salvaging grace is, or the saving grace, is that, I wasn't stubborn with that, my takeaway isn't resentment. Okay? That's like, hallelujah, Tina. That's where you saved it, okay? Okay, so we're going to move that up. We're going to put that down right there. Yeah. Okay. So, what goes in game, Spirit? Okay, so it kind of pieced up to there. Harmonizing. Okay, I like that. Playing by a different tune. And then what opened up from here to here? Oh my God, are you kidding me? Fucking kidding me? Spirit. Spirit is teaching me how to play ball. Spirit is teaching me how to like understand that the grass is green over here. Okay? Like, we should be very thankful that we get to play out on the field today. Okay? That we live to, we survived to live another day. Is that how they say it? Whatever it is, Spirit is like teaching me, like, okay, time out. Like, I know that you were not, how do I say it? That you were taught with the best of knowledge. That, you know, with what others, you know, thought was best at the time. And sometimes that shit sits with them. Like, that's all that they know. Okay? They just want the best for you, even though it's not the best. But then here, Spirit's just like correcting that. Like, hey, Bucky. It's okay. We're going to figure this one out. Everyone's learning, right? Oh, hi. Good to see you. What else goes in game? So how do I know you? What is that all about? Okay. It's interesting. Okay. So we have attachments, so like spun around course. You know what this is? This is like, you know, looking at a well, you know, like raising something up. It looks like it's round enough to raise up. But like, it's like that. I don't even remember. I think it was, shoot. I think it was correctly like that. It's getting wound up over triggers. That's what that is. That's what it is. Like, wound up over triggers. That, you know, some, like, people are playing games. That's what that is. That's what it is. People are playing games with us. See, like, how tightly spun, like, if there's a breaking point, if we get wound up, like, so much that this is like kind of what happens when you're sewing, when the spool, like, there's like something that gets caught up or whatever on a hook and it snaps. There's a breaking point even to like reeling things back in. Yeah, I remember I was trying to like reel it back in. I'm like, well, you know what? Thank you for that. Thank you for offering the help. Thank you. Thank you. But I need you to respect my space, and there's only so much that I have, going, that I can pay attention to. There's only so much. And I was being honest. And it was just like, the conversation went to, I just wanted to see how things were going. Maybe I shouldn't ask you at all. And it's like, okay, so there's a little bit of a trigger. Like, okay, well, so that's your solution. Okay, if that's your solution, then so be it. But then there was this other part where it was like, I just wanted to see like how things were going. This and like this and that. And I said, you know what? That's great. But I would highly prefer that we talk about these things when I'm feeling better about them, when I'm doing better on them. And I said, well, Tina, at that rate, I'll be dead. I was like, Wow. Thanks for believing in me. Wow. Thank you so very much. You know, you had to go there. And you had no apology whatsoever towards that after, like, I calmed the fuck down. And that's where I was just like, you know, that's where it snapped, buddy. That was another place that it snapped. It's like, is there anything else you want to say, Spirit? You know, Spirit's doing these things to, like, help me learn as well. Like, Spirit allows some things to go through. Hold on. Let me just see something here. That's so weird. I don't understand. Okay. Well, somebody's showing through. Wives. Okay, this is wonderful. I didn't even see that before. That was interesting. So, wise. What comes through for wise? Yeah, Spirit allows things to come through just so that, you know, there are some things that I need to refine on. Some things that I need to touch base on. Because if this happens on a very, like, molecular, microcosmic level, could you imagine, like, when I move into the macrocosm, when something hugely, magnificently wonderful comes in that gives me a break rather than tests my breaking point. Guess, you know, it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. I'm so busy that I won't, you know, Spirit wants me to be like the best of the best brand ambassadors. So, you know, like, I'm not mad at Spirit. Like, of course, fine. I need to go ahead and do this before somebody else, like, boils me up. Because, you know, with as much power as I hold, seriously, could do some real damage. That's not what I stand for. I stand for people getting their karma. I do. Yeah. I stand for them knowing exactly where that came from. And how they were prominently involved, like how their hands were really just tied into that. So when they're caught red-handed, that they're looking at the blood on their hands and they remember, oh, it was you. I want them to see that. I think it's important. You know? Wise. What goes into wise? In the forest, and oh, are you kidding me? Caught red-handed, like, well, this is insane to me, Spirit. Do you see that? Caught red-handed, going through the forest. You know, this also goes for people who, like, buried things along the way. Thinking that nobody's gonna ever find it, because nobody goes in this, like, forest or wherever, the boonies. So there's a lot of it's a word to the wise, is what I'm hearing. This is so interesting to me. Like, I didn't even know what to expect. I thought it was going to be really, really difficult to decipher what was going on here. But it's catching people. Not necessarily always in the act, but catching them within their involvement. How they engaged in escalating situations where someone was severely compromised. Actually, both were compromised, you know. The hand that provokes it, the hand that does that, you know, there's something to learn on their end, too. I don't know. That's what I'm supposed to say it. Oh, okay. What fell on my left foot? Oh, God, are you kidding me? Okay, so it's a dude, like, you know, I'm covering up the parts, right? So, this doesn't necessarily have to do with the person that I am speaking about, but the energies behind it. It's hidden, like, disrespect on like poking and prodding and asserting and like being persistent in a way that it's very intrusive. It's like on a personal level. So it's interesting. Okay, that one. Yeah, like it's these people that are trying to like label and like, what do you call it, box you in. It's like a checkerboard, you know, where we have green and gold, you know, checker boxes here. Okay, so it's like about the one up, you know, when it comes to who's doing it right, you know, and to emphasize, to like try to convince somebody that you're doing your best and you're doing, like, let me tell you something. You know what was a huge trigger for me? Is that there was an assumption that I wasn't doing things the right way. When in fact, when I was being told like suggestions, recommendations on what to do, I already had them in alignment. You know what I mean? So it tells me a lot about not just how that person thinks, but how that person thinks of me, what they believe about me. And it's like, I'm wasting my time here, you know, allowing you to push your way through and validate, like having you sit here and go through these things with me is almost like me validating your position to do that, you know, when it could have been easily cured. Like there would have been so much leeway if these people would have asked, so how are you approaching that? Or, you know, I'm curious, like, you know, what is it that, you know, how have you already engaged with it? Like, you don't have to do it like on a professional, with such professional trim words, but just like, okay, so, you know, what is it that you have in mind with that? Like, how do you feel about that? What is it that you plan on doing with that? You know, I have some thoughts of my own. Are you open to that? I mean, like, tell me what's going on with, you know, with you first. Or like, you know, that would have cured so much. That would have helped so incredibly much. But like, the thing is, the craziest thing in the world to me is that I have done that formula with my ex. You know, like, you know, if you could just do it this, you know, form it within this way, like your approach to that, or even, you know, like if I'm feeling like if if you're in the wrong about something, the way to cure it is like to, you know, do this or that. And it's just like easy. It's so simple. So fucking simple. Like, oh, one, I don't even, like, it's so, like, such a power play. Like, the strainer for salad, okay? There's so many dishes. It's so easy after you wash it. All you have to really do is wash and rub it. Just, that's it. It's very small. But it can take on, like, a more strenuous process if mixed with other stuff. So it's just one little thing. Just one little thing. Just wash it, please. 50,000 salads later. Fuck. You know? That's how you know that people don't respect you. Just like that, these little things. It's like, you mean so little to them that they are not willing to make that just little change. It's as easy as remembering somebody's birthday. You get a cake for them. You get a card, something. It's just that little thing. You know? So me just coaching someone through, what would work best within the dynamic, especially when it gets heated like that, out the door. Didn't say a thing, That's the craziest thing about it, is that, it's not even like, oh, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Some people are just, mules in certain facets of their life. They're not willing to change. They don't see that they're in the wrong. And it's in any way possible. So they persist. They persist in the way they see it best. But when you turn the tables, oh, no, nobody's going to talk to me like that. No. So, let's see. Let's go ahead and pull another card through here. Okay, what's down there? Destroy. Muted. Okay. So, we're looking to preserve what's left. Okay, so, what is it, Spirit? Okay, that was the hopper. Oh, it's self-defeating behaviors. Okay. So, I guess for me, self-defeating behaviors would be further engaging in those situations that are red flagged, where it's like you're kind of imprisoned. It's just like black or white, black or white, black or white. He loves me, he loves me not. He loves me, he loves me not. That kind of thing. Like that staggered effect where it's like it's this way or that way, this way or that way. There's no gray area unless you hurt yourself, It's like, is there anything else you want to say about that? Okay. This is kind of like Three of Wands behavior. Because there's 3 people, 3 spirits walking the block. Your ships are coming in. Oh, you know what? This is kind of like it's turned away from you, though. So this is like your ships are supposed to be coming in. And that has to do kind of like with your support system. But it's like also they're being driven away. And I'm not into that whole negotiating party where you do it my way or the highway, because that's kind of like what I'm getting over here. I think part of the reality is that there's certain ways in which we have to approach certain individuals. We already know that. I mean, being an executive assistant, you know that you have to custom tailor your communications per party. That if you're looking at in the realm of effectiveness, that's just what you got to do. I mean, it's not selling out. It's just like tailoring communications to how each party best fits, is receptive to it. So, but you also have to be equally receptive. So this is not just like playing nicely. This is more like knowing that other people have their limitations, okay? Knowing that there is value within the exchange. However, the tricky part is kind of, it's not being like, what do you call it? Conflict avoidant, but it's also understanding that there are certain boundaries that these interactions must work upon in order to be mutually beneficial. So with that, there has to be certain guidelines as far as when we pick up the phone, what areas of topics we choose to navigate through, certain ways in which we have to excuse ourselves that is appropriate to both parties, And I think that's where we want to go. I think everybody has to deal with stuff like that, you know, because I've still got tomorrow going for me. Like, I know that I'm not going to die tonight. I just know it. I know that there's so much more going for me. Like, I just know it. I mean, it's kind of weird that, like, kind of feels a little taboo to say something like that, but there's no way. There's no way. So, being that I have at least tomorrow to work through, it's yeah, so sometimes you just gotta pick your battles. Okay? So, as far as, like, being defensive, at this point in your life, in our lives, we know, like, how far we've come. We already saw the graph in the previous, like, at the very beginning. It's just a reminder to visit, like, how far we've come. And that's only a projection, a forecast of what's to follow through. So, when we're picking our battles, we know that there's so much left, on the curriculum. So, when we look at it that way, a curriculum as opposed to an agenda, we know that there's some wiggle room and that there's a learning curve. Okay. And even in hindsight, there is still much to salvage. It is a pity, though, I must say, for those to get involved on such a personal level that they would mess with energetics in such a domestic fashion, like local fashion, that it says a lot about where they came from, that they don't see the value of community on a local, like such a locality, such an intimate locality, that it tells you a lot about how they grew up. It tells you about how much is lacking within their realm of being. To disrespect it, to go into somebody else's yard, basically, and fiddle with those mechanics, that tells you a lot about their behaviors and how they conduct themselves. So what their projections are very much like how they are within their own, lifestyle. That says a lot, saying that they are home wreckers and on multiple levels. So whether or not they are married or whatever, are engaged or, involved with someone on an intimate level, this is how they conduct themselves. When push comes to shove, they've always been just for themselves. So, yeah, to interfere into somebody else's life, to pose those dramatics, because that just came out of like nowhere. Tomorrow is the full moon in Virgo. There have been many projections of like absolute abundance for me. People are trying to siphon that energy by doing the readings themselves, trying to like take, on it's a very that's why I decided no. Once I saw that, I was like, I know I have a lot of abundance, but I am not going to give, like, willingly, I'm not going to give anybody, like, anyone who does that, I'm not willingly going to give part of my abundance to them. There are so many more that are worthy. There's so many more. Why would I waste it on someone who is purposefully like fucking around with energy? If they do it to me, do you know how many times they've done it before? Like, this is irrelevant to whether or not they are attracted to me, if they like me, whatever. Because this isn't just confined to female energy or feminine. This is, you know, it goes through others. So, anyway, let's go ahead and, well, I don't know, look at the top of the deck. Retreat. Yeah. You gotta think about that. And the bottom is rival. See? That's what you're saying. Like, sometimes you just... Okay, the top, okay, is stop. Okay. Or you know what? Go and look at things objectively. Go and, you know, you can still get out there. But you know what? You're not going to, like, engage in all of that. Retreat. You know, stand back. That's what they're saying. Rival. Oh my gosh. What? That's what's happening. That's insane. Spirit is freaking sane. I don't even know. Sometimes you never know. That's insane. Like, seriously, sometimes I'm just like, okay, maybe I'm just, you know, working with a separate facet of spirit. Maybe just like a fraction, you know, because I'm just asking for a progress report. I'm just asking about like the minor arcana of stuff. And then spirit's like, no, I'm here. I'm here, Tina. Spirit's actually grading it themselves. Okay, so mix. Yeah, there's just kind of like mixed feelings here. We want score and also medic, I believe. Let me see my nose. Seriously, I did not even know. Like, that's insane to me. What? High five, Spirit. You're crazy. Spirit is crazy. Okay. Okay, so I'll just do it a few times. La 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 la. What is the Spirit? Oh, one flew off the... Okay, that's fine. I will get it when I... And then one more. Okay. Thank you so very much. Okay, what spun is like that heart rate line. So what fell to my toe? Oh my gosh, my toes are so cold. Oh, there's two that I can't feel them. So it's kind of like letting go, like, of, you know, that explosive vibe that hit my right foot. So, you know, it's like, yeah, as far as like getting on the right foot, it's like, it's anger management. And what fell between my legs is this. And it's like a old woman, like in reversal. So, yeah, so this could be like wisdom, you know, like having wisdom, like in an objective point of view, like crone energy. But like, you know, crones to me, are people who like are divine feminines that really take care of themselves. So like to be hunched over like that, that's a no. That's not divine feminine crone energy. I mean, like if you're looking at like a centennial, okay, all right, that's fine. But this is, to me, is like that old hag lady type of energy. So like she's like suspended, you know, like pause, like she's like right in front of me, almost like right at my foundations, and it's almost like I kind of turned the tables on her. It's kind of weird, like, but anyway, yeah, she's like trying to like stand in the way, but at the same time, it's like I knocked her over. That's what that is. Okay, let me show you what the rest say, okay? Oh yeah, because here we go. We have like Little Red Riding Hood over here. She's kind of sad or whatever, but it's okay. Standing upright, but kind of almost muted, kind of a little bit into her introversion. But you see, somebody like wanting to like trip up, and that's no more. That's no more. Okay, that's not happening. Okay, so as far as the growth experience, it's since that's also in reversal, it's also growth within that mindset of looking at things objectively and standing apart from a situation, kind of separating yourself. Like your inner child just needs like a chill moment, like a little time out, okay? Like, but this is also growth within, like, things are not like in a whirlwind anymore. Like, there's a calm now. So it's like lesson learned, right? There's no more stickiness to our situation, no cold or dampness. Things are kind of like heating up a little bit more. So there's a warmer atmosphere. This is a good forecast here. And yeah, this is at the crown. This is at the top. Like that opponent energy is also like voided out. That's done with. Like Spirit, because I'm learning these lessons, Spirit's like, okay, let's scoot them out, let's get, oh yeah, this is a calculation. When things have gotten personal, as far as like this being muted, it's like, okay, the ballots are in, things are unchangeable at this time, like now that we've learned our lesson, because this was the one that was spinning, but now that it's like absolutely activated, it's like, okay, we've regained control of that. Like we're in absolute control of that. We're in our feels, but it's not like taking over to the point where like, we're all about like matching that energy. Okay. So, being that this like kind of goes hand in hand, it's saying that like, accountability goes a long way. So when we can manage, our experience through, how do I say it? Understanding that like being one-to-one with our feelings, it doesn't have to be like always so dramatic for us to say that we're alive and that we're kicking. Being that these go hand in hand, it's like the ballots are in, like lessons learned. I receive my karma within the experience of like, almost like a takedown energy, but their karma is also due too. So it's kind of like quiet hush. Whatever comes to them is meant to come to them. Yeah, this is about the web that we weave, and it's very much accentuated because it's like it ends right there. Which is like it's still ongoing. That's the implication there. This is a dragonfly, transformational energy. They can fully navigate just like a helicopter, as far as, they're very like, what is it? Kind of like ambidextrous, but like with flying. Very like suave in it too, very precise. So it's like kind of ascending, like going up, and the transformation is accentuated. So like as far as this is an outline of it, like a dead person, right? So this is saying that again, transformation, it's like, but the winning cup again is poured up on us. So and there's absolutely like healing energy closest to us, that there's this situation presents a lot of healing. Okay. May not feel like it at first, but for sure I am like so shocked that the top and the bottom deck energy are like, that's insanity to me, Spirit. Seriously, like Spirit knows, like, you probably hear me outside. That's how, like, so we have L and O, and T, Z, I, E, E, U, I, V, L, F, U, G, G, N. Okay, fuel and fueling. That says a lot. We have love, toil, tilling, like tilling the ground, aerating the soil. Do we have names in here? Ellie and Elle. Lou and Louie. The first time we had Louie here. That's interesting. Okay. We have Vial. Okay. Vale. Luong. I don't know. That's somebody's last name. Telly. Five. Live. Gong. Almost like a time's up, but it's like, ceremonial. Oh, remember there was like the Gong Show where it's like, it would always be hit when something like just out of this world happened, like, it was kind of like a strike. Letting? No, there's only one T, so that can't be. Telling. I think situations can be very telling. But I really feel like it's important to like go with the first part of it. I mean, that was part of like the big message here. Fuel and love. Lung. I think it's reminding us to, take a breather. Yeah, to kind of like retreat again, like just let me see here. We have I, you, and I. That's what's left. It looks like a sedated amphibian when it's created. But I think Spirit is showing us to look on the bright side. Okay? Because like honestly, what are our experiences if we don't have like our proper takeaways? It's not just like sentience within the specific moment, because as you know, like if you're dating or whatever and you're getting close to someone on an intimate level, it's like if those fleeting moments, like if those how do I say it, there are fleeting moments of like excitement, right? Like why like how valuable is that when it's like, how do I say it? When your takeaway is like knowing that like that's it, like that's, like when you can almost replicate those instances because of the bonds that you build, not because it's like, oh, I get, like, it's convenient. It's, there's so much more, like, how do I say it? I don't know if I really need to explain myself on that, because I think you already know. You know, like, I think guys lie when it comes to, you know, that kind of satisfaction, that they kind of cheat themselves into thinking that there's like a prime return off of revolving doors, you know, like they, like, I know guys are like very like visual, but at the same time, when it comes to separating feelings from like enactments, like, even that loses its luster. You know what I'm talking about? Like, it's still like, it validates them over and over how lonely they are, how unwilling they are to create true bonds, that it's like, that's what they've reduced themselves to, is that they're only capable, like, of building that kind of transaction where that's the only way that they can gain that frequency. And they're kind of compartmentalizing the idea that they're in control and this is how they prefer things to be. But it's like subconsciously, that's just them building excuses to not doing the work. You know what I mean? So it's like them, like, psychologically telling themselves that they're incapable. Like, it's validating to them that they are incapable of building solid relationships, that they are not desirable enough to, or not worthy enough to build substantial relationships. And that's why they project onto these, like, women, or, you know, these partners, to say that it's them. You know, it's you know what I'm saying? Like, wow, that's interesting. So, you know, I think I'm supposed to say these things as well, not just to, like, teach others, because there's a lot of youth that, you know, watches me as well. But it's more so, like, it's a process of elimination. You know, people know that they can't get that far with me, because it's like, you know, you have to do your work. I'm going to be able to detect you from, you know, even, like, without making contact with, even without picking up the phone, I will know. So anyway, there's that. And I think that's it for now. So now that this reading is officially over, I think all my guides, my soul team, the elders of light and love, just, gosh, my core divine inner circle team, thank you so very much. This has been very motivating to get me to the next steps, honestly. Like, my kid was telling me, like, it's one thing to have for, like, coffee to give you the energy to do something, but to find the motivation is another thing, especially after certain experiences that, you know, are proposed to take you down, whether that's, like, directly, you know, indicated, or through a third party, like, tampering with the energetics between you and another person. That's foul. So anyway, just wanted to say thank you to all my sponsors and my supporters, and all donations provided in light and love. And pretty soon you're going to see me on Patreon. However, that I just wanted to create a safe place for for others that could really use that privacy and like direct support, just like another space where not everyone will have access to it, because you'll see. But anyway, that's it for now. And upon closing this reading, I close all portals. I send all energies back to their appropriate locations outside of mine. I send them back with their appropriate karma due. Each and every one of you. Do not be afraid, for what is coming to you is already in the books. I'm just kind of accentuating it, like pushing it forward. And yeah, I mean, that's part of like your interactions being with me. I'm just kind of just conveying the terms, okay? So, not to worry. If you're doing wonderful, then bravo, So, sending you all back with light and love. And at this time, I close all portals now.